Good evening, everyone. It's Steve Lookner with Right Side Broadcasting coming to you with a news alert about Bitcoin. The sell-off continues. It's going down further. It's amazing. It keeps going down. We wanted to come on and update you and tell you what's going on. Look, it's at 62.74, 62.63. A little earlier this evening, it had gone below 6,100. And it's going down, and wow, it's been quite a couple days for Bitcoin and all cryptocurrencies pretty much. Check out the cryptocurrency price index. This is just in the last 24 hours. They keep going down. Ethereum's down 14% in the last 24 hours. This is after the big drops yesterday. So they just keep going down. It's crazy. So we want to come on and talk about this with you guys. So Bitcoin, let me show you if you look at the 7-day, there's a 7-day Bitcoin. And you can see, even 2 days ago, it was like 9,300 2 days ago. Just 2 days ago. So it's lost like over a third of its value in 2 days after losing so much of its value, in the past month and a half or so. I mean, at the start of January, it was at 16,000. And back in December, it was at, around 20,000. So it's already, from the highs in December, it's lost like 2/3 of its value now, if not more, probably more than 2/3 of its value. So, yeah, today it goes down, and then it looks like it's going to go back up, and it keeps going down, and it keeps going down. But I remember this morning thinking like, whoa, 7,000 is really low. But it's gotten close to 6,000. So, and my big question is like, does it just crash like completely? I mean, a year or so ago, I think it was at 1,000. But do people just finally give up on it and say, you know what, countries aren't going to let us use this? They're not, countries are cracking down all over the world on cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. China's outlawing the buying and selling of Bitcoin. India is going to make it they're going to say you can't pay your debts in Bitcoin. They're not going to make it, they're going to say it's not an illegal form of payment. Credit card companies have started saying you can't buy Bitcoin with your credit card. We heard a viewer say that his debit card company his bank wouldn't let him buy the Bitcoin with his debit card. So, and then all kinds of regulations about what accounts you have to buy and sell Bitcoin. So, that, and also there are worries about Bitcoin itself, about its ability to handle lots of transactions. There's the transaction fees are quite high now for Bitcoin. There was a huge cryptocurrency exchange that was hacked, and money and cryptocurrency was stolen. You can't get it back in Japan a couple weeks ago. So all these worries have just added up and are pushing the price down. And also, look, this was something where a lot of people got into Bitcoin around the end of last year, and I know I heard it anecdotally, and I also personally know people who invested who are not financial people. But I mean, just go look it up on Google. There are tons of newspaper articles out there. I was just reading one yesterday. I think it was a Wall Street Journal article where they interview people who say, I'm getting into Bitcoin. I don't really know about it, but I thought it was really good investment for my future. People without that much money, and at a certain point, people were just buying it. Some people were buying it just because they thought it was going to go up. And eventually that kind of thing usually run out of people to buy it. And when that runs out, they stop buying it. And then some people start selling, and there's nothing to, if people are all in it just as speculation, or a lot of people are in it as speculation, nothing to keep it from going down very sharply. So the big question I have right now is, are we just in a crash right now where it's just going to keep going down like there's no floor? Some people thought 10,000 was a floor. Some people thought 7,000 was a floor. Now we're approaching 6,000. This has just happened in a few days. Might there be just no floor to this? Might it just go down to 1,000? Might it go down lower? I don't know. So and we're talking lots of money. The market cap of Bitcoin right now, even at its current price, there's over $100 billion. $100 billion. $100 billion. It's not a typo. There are over $100 billion in Bitcoin out there. Already from the high, over $200 billion of paper wealth in Bitcoin has been lost. So there are huge amounts of wealth which people thought they have, which they no longer have anymore, and that keeps happening. So anyways, it's a worrying situation because I think, as I was saying earlier on a stream earlier today, I think a lot of people got in late. People got in near the highs, November, December. And people who didn't have that much money, people who put a lot of their money into Bitcoin just because they thought it was going to keep going up, speculating, if you will. And there could be a lot of people out there who are really hurt by what's been happening in the last couple of weeks, especially, including the last few days in Bitcoin, and keeps happening tonight as we look at it. So I'd love to hear from you as we're on the air here. Let me just make sure the sound is coming out okay. I'm going to keep going up. Sound sounds good. I'd love to hear from you guys. So if you have any comments while we're on the air, give me a shout on Twitter. Write to me on Twitter, @Lookner, @LOOKNER. Let me know what you think about this. We're going to keep an eye on the Bitcoin price. A few minutes ago, it was close to 6,000. Then all of a sudden it went back up to 6,400 something, and now we're back down into the 6,200s or around 6,300. But things can happen very fast today with Bitcoin price. A couple of you have written in. Let me read your comments here. Andy T writes in, I'm glad I stayed away. I was always skeptical. Who knows? It could recover or go all the way down to 500. It could. It could go lower than 500. Don't know. Thank you, JC, for moderating, being awake and moderating the chat room, and Common Sense and Gleno on the website if they're up moderating that as well. Thank you, JC. More comments from you guys. Let me read some more comments here as I peek out of the corner of my eye at that price. Sumit Mehdi writes in, speculating what if other people trusted as a secure source of storing value. If other people trusted as a secure source of storing value, that involves investing in it and about replacing other services. It comes with the repercussion that some people would use it to transfer black money. So unless this issue is addressed, it's tough. I think what you're getting to is, you're responding to a conversation. So I'm sorry, Sumit, you were responding to a conversation to my original tweet about Bitcoin price going down. But a point you raised, Sumit, is one of the worries some governments have had about Bitcoin is that it's anonymous. Bitcoin, you have a certain key you use to make that's like an identification for your Bitcoin account that only you have. If it's secure, only you have it. And Bitcoin, there's a ledger. There's no central bank that operates Bitcoin or a government. Basically, on all these different computers, there's a record of all the Bitcoin transactions. But basically, roughly speaking, there's a digital ID number that identifies every single account. And if you have your proper numbers or codes or whatever for Bitcoin, you can access your account. But that's all your account. And for anybody else, they don't know for a given account whose account it is, where they live. Everything's the identification of the people who have the account is anonymous, which makes it a nice thing if people want to use it, say, for criminal enterprises of some sort. So that is one use it has gotten, and some governments have cracked down on it because of that. I believe South Korea, I was reading a story today saying to trade in Bitcoin in South Korea, either the way it is now or the way they're making it is you have to have some kind of cryptocurrency account where you're clearly identified on the account. So they're not letting you trade it anonymously. So that is one concern governments have had about Bitcoin. Another concern, I think one of the main concerns governments have is a lot of governments think this is a bubble and they don't want a lot of their residents investing in it and then going bankrupt, and then you have to take care of all these residents and help all these residents out, and it costs the state money. And it's just not a good thing for a state to have lots of its residents going bankrupt, obviously. So governments have been trying to clamp down, certain governments, on Bitcoin and cryptocurrency speculation because they don't think it's good for people to be doing that. So South Korea has really been doing it. China has banned all Bitcoin trading. And India, I think, might do it. India has definitely taken some measures against it. So a lot of different currencies have taken action against Bitcoin. And also, look, Facebook said we're not going to allow any kind of cryptocurrency advertising on Facebook. Even if it's from a legitimate business, we're not going to allow it. So lots of forces working against Bitcoin right now. All right, so the price right now, hey, it's up to 64.27. It's been fluctuating a bit over the last hour. Let's see if maybe it'll go up more. Let's see what happens. We'll keep an eye on it. But I want to get to some more of your comments here. Ryan Lovesey made a donation. He said, playing Minecraft is greater than Bitcoin. Thank you, Ryan. We appreciate the donation, especially in these difficult financial times of the last couple of days. We do rely on your donations to stay on the air, so if you want to support Right Side, do what Ryan did. Go to the bottom of a YouTube chat, click on the $ at the bottom of the YouTube chat, or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. American Patriot writes in, I've never been interested in Bitcoin. One word, EMP, I'd rather have... one word EMP, I'd rather have hard, solid gold and or silver in my hands. Thank you, American Patriot. Steve Grasha writes in, Bitcoin has the capacity to surpass PayPal, Visa, MasterCard as the online payment processor of choice. Bitcoin is much more secure and not able to be used as a way to defraud businesses and sellers. So Steve is on board with Bitcoin. Sean M. says, buy on bad news, fools. Steve Grasha also says, investing and speculating are two very different things. I believe Bitcoin has the capacity to surpass PayPal, Visa, MasterCard as the online payment processor of choice. Bitcoin is much more secure and not able to be used as a way to defraud businesses and sellers. Now, some people claim, Steve, thank you, Steve. Some people claim, Steve, that they think there's going to be some important place for cryptocurrency in the economy, but not necessarily Bitcoin. Bitcoin has some certain issues that some might think make it hard to use as a widespread method of payment. For example, it's limited on how quickly transactions can be processed. There's a big processing time and also a significant transaction fee that's required right now. So some people out there think, well, something like Bitcoin might be really useful and widely used one day, but that might not be Bitcoin. So that won't help the people who have Bitcoin. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm not giving investment advice either way on this. John Miller writes in, Bitcoin losing 2/3 value in a month is plunging. This is stock paydays thus far. Most of these guys go right back in at another angle. If you have comments, let me know. At Lookner on Twitter, at Lookner. Forex Day Trading Radio writes in, a guy from New Jersey, 58 years old, worked 27 years at the same company. His friend kept hyping Bitcoin to him, so he pulled over $600,000 out of his 401k and bought it at around 18,000 level. His 600,000 is now worth less than 300,000. This gentleman is not in a good place, sad. Now, I can't verify Forex Day Trading's radio. If there's a source on that Forex Day Trading Radio, feel free to give me a shout. But I am pretty darn sure there are stories like that in different countries in the world where people, I've read stories, news stories from reputable news organizations about people who put a lot of their savings into cryptocurrency, including Bitcoin, maybe mainly Bitcoin. So these people are going to be very hurt by this. Now you can see right now, look, it's up at 6,600. It's so volatile. I mean, it's gone up about 500 in the last, when I was getting this stream ready, when I was prepping the stream about a half hour ago, it was close to 6,000. Then it went up to 6,500. Then it was down to under 6,300. Now it's up to close to 6,600. So a lot of activity there. There's the one-day chart you can see. You know what's interesting, though? If you look back and yesterday, it was going down, 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 down. And it hit around 6,600. And then it went all the way up to about 7,500. I remember this because I was looking at it yesterday. And I think, like before I went to bed, it was like 7,500. I was like, oh, it's going back up. And then I woke up and it had gone down like by 600 or something. So there's a general trend line here. We'll see, is it going to keep going back up here like it's been doing, or is it going to just go back down? we'll keep an eye on it as we talk to you about this. Oh, while we're on the air, I want to mention, Don Butler reminded me, I should mention the Dow Jones futures. It's a little off topic, but it's investing, so I'll mention it anyway. The Dow futures right now, they were down 1,200. Now they're down, I think they use fair value, 980. So that would predict that the market would open down 1,000 points tomorrow. Now, I was reading an article saying that this can change pretty rapidly. Hey, Ron Stahlcup made a donation and said, as always, thank you, RSBN. Thank you, Ron Stahlcup. Let me get you an article about the futures. So this was published an hour ago. The futures are a little higher now. This says 1,200 points.
There's two things that I want to be watching in the next.
Come on, no autoplay video. So CNBC says stock futures slid into negative territory. The implied open, it's about 1,000 points down, not at 1,200 now. But it also says futures are volatile and late night prices may look far different from stocks at the opening bell. So look. Opening bell is in another 8 hours and 17 minutes from now, I think. Is it 10 or 9? When does the stock market open? 10 or 9? When does the NYSE open? Or 9:30? 9:30. There you go. So it's about 9 hours till it opens. And then Asian markets, I want to show you that. While we take a little digression here. Yeah, so if you look at, I want to just show you the Asian markets are trading, or they're open now. They're pretty down after. Usually, that's not surprising that the Asian and American markets kind of track each other. So Japanese stocks are down 6.05%. Hang Seng is in Hong Kong down 4.5%. China index down 3%. Is this Malaysia? 169? Which one is this? I don't even know which one this is. I don't know what AS51 is. Well, I can't tell you. Anyways, that's a little sampling of the Asian stocks. All right, so let's keep an eye on Bitcoin, though. It's at 65.28 now. I really do think that there is a risk that at some point we'll be watching one of these, kind of big downturns and then it'll just crash. But I don't know when that'll be. Hey, I want to read some more of your comments. Write to me on Twitter @Lookner. Chris Douglas says, Steve, I think the Dow futures is a bigger story than Bitcoin, although very significant Bitcoin is a fraction of the economy. The Dow futures are record setting. Maybe I'm not saying Bitcoin is the bigger story. I'm saying we're covering Bitcoin right now by choice. So, also I think, Bitcoin, I think the whole Bitcoin cryptocurrency sell-off is a huge story, and it gets very little coverage. So we want to do some coverage of it here. JC says, let's go $1 a coin. Who knows, JC? We might get there. Davis Deaton says, I'm wondering why Bitcoin and the global stock markets are both crashing at roughly the same time. They're not related at all. Do you have any speculation or theory on this? Well, Davis, the Bitcoin general downturn has been going on for a couple weeks now. Cryptocurrency, look at the 1 month. Look at the 1 month. There's your 1 month chart for Bitcoin. There's your 1 month. So it's not really correlated with the stock. It's not even correlated with the stock market because the stock market was going up for a lot of January. So it just so happened in the last couple of days, Bitcoin continued to go down and the stock market went down. But for the most part, they haven't been correlated. Now Bitcoin is down below 6,500. Hawk writes in, I have heard of many people put all their money into this. Now they are in another world of regret. And I'm not surprised you've heard of that, Hawk. I've heard people talking about this who I know I know there's one friend of mine who put some money into it, and I'm like, that guy's a smart guy, and I think like he was someone who I thought, and I don't think he put in like an excessive amount of money. So with him, I was like, all right, well, he kind of follows the news and stuff, and he's, I'm not so worried about him. But then I started hearing with people talk about it, and I was like, no, these people have like no idea what they're talking about. They're literally just putting it in because they've heard people talk about it going up, and that's what they're doing. And those are the people I especially worry about. I should talk about this, by the way. Nathan Collins says, "Are you invested in Bitcoin? If so, when did you get in?" Normally I don't answer a personal question like that, but I do think it's important to say I have no investments in cryptocurrency whatsoever. And the reason I think it's important to say is because somebody might say, "Steve, you're coming on and you're trying to manipulate the market to help your own investment." I have no investment in cryptocurrency. I am not planning on investing in cryptocurrency. That's not for any my point is that like I'm covering cryptocurrency. If I had huge cryptocurrency investments, it'd be a bit of a conflict of interest, I think, for me to come on and report about Bitcoin, and not tell you that, or report about cryptocurrency. So I'm a neutral party here. I am covering it just as an observer of the world, interested in it because I'm interested in the news and business news and the economy, and also I do feel like it's an important story. But just so you're aware, I am not I'm not getting any personal gain out of this either way. Joel says, "I've noticed every time you gone on live on YouTube the past few weeks, I'm not getting notifications, and I have the bell notification turned on." So I did get a notification for this broadcast because I'm subscribed to our own channel. But people have been having a lot of notification issues. Look, we've been complaining to YouTube about this for months, and we hope it gets fixed. So today they sent out notifications for, at least that I got, for all of our broadcasts. Sometimes I don't even get them, but one thing you could try doing, Joel, is unsubscribing and resubscribing right after and see if that helps. And I would also suggest telling, if you're having issues with getting notifications, please, we would love it if you guys message YouTube, tell YouTube this. Also, you can tweet to them at YouTube, at Team YouTube, tell them this. Say, we want our notifications, we're not getting them. Because if enough of you complain, maybe they'll, fix it. We've complained, and we're really sorry, and we hate it when you guys sign up for subscriptions. We want you to know when we're coming on the air, obviously. So we apologize. We know it's been an issue. But at least some people got notified for this one. But I would definitely, like you said, you reach out. I tell people to recheck that if the button is turned on, bell is turned on. Even if the bell's turned on, there's all these different options within the notification settings. So you might want to check those. And as a backup, you can always follow us on Twitter at RSB Network. We always post when we're going on the air. And I always post when I'm going on the air at Lookner. Justin Murrow says, "If Bitcoins drop so low, do you think it would eventually go away?" Well, technically, Bitcoin, I guess you could say, is like, it's a certain, computer script or program that makes computers do things and allows these numbers to go back and forth on computers. So it's not going to go away. Like, it's all of what would happen is people would just stop using it. Like, if the value gets low enough, if it doesn't have any value, people aren't going to use the whole Bitcoin, I don't know if you call it a program or a way of exchanging stuff on their computers, because they're just not going to want to bother with it. So the Bitcoin infrastructure, digital infrastructure, will still be there. It's not going to be erased from everybody's computer and erased from the internet, but it would just not be used. They're not physical coins, by the way. Everything's digital. West Virginia Bot says, "I bought a Bitcoin for $20 on eBay 6 years ago. I paid for a water heater with part of it a few months ago." Well, I'm glad for your sake, West Virginia Bot. It seems like you've made some money on this. While I've been talking, the price is around $6,500 right now. So we'll keep looking at that. Zach LaFleur writes in, "I think a lot of people saw this coming. There's no way governments are going to allow a currency stronger than their own, especially when they can't easily tax Bitcoin companies. So some people out there think that, the actions that governments and banks have taken against Bitcoin is because they secretly really don't want another currency out there that they don't control. Now, maybe they have that desire. I do think there are also legitimate reasons for them not to want, for example, I think it's legitimate to not want a lot of your citizens to invest in something you think is clearly a bubble. So maybe there's a mix of motives going on. I do think governments, genuinely want to prevent governments want to prevent their citizens from going bankrupt. Credit card companies want to prevent their customers from going bankrupt on cryptocurrency and then not being able to pay off their credit card bills. But who knows? Maybe there's this other motivation too of not wanting a competing currency out there. And when I say, governments don't control Bitcoin, so no one controls Bitcoin. Like for example, how many Bitcoins there are out there is controlled just by the original way Bitcoin was programmed. I'm calling it the Bitcoin program, which is probably wrong, but the way it was set up on the internet. So no one actually controls how many Bitcoin there are. And that's very different from a government currency like dollars, or British pounds. If the American government wants to, change the money supply to affect the economy or to affect and to bring down inflation or, these kind of things, they can do that. They control the money supply. No government controls the money supply of Bitcoin. It's no one controls it. It's totally decentralized. Let me read some more comments. Sightless Seer. Hey, Sightless Seer, how are you? Good to hear from you. It says, he or she says, I forget, Sightless Seer. I don't know if you've ever told me. And your picture has a man and a woman on it. Take into consideration the recent hack in the Japanese cryptocurrency firm, which highlighted the weaknesses of a digital-based currency and the current lack of security. Sightless Seer, apparently you didn't see the start of the broadcast because I mentioned that. Digital currencies are largely based on perceived value. Yes, I agree with you, Sightless Seer, but so in a sense are national government currencies. That value is lost if there is no faith in its security. Market values are heavily swayed by perception, as panic can cause mass sell-offs like these. Now, you say hard currencies have the benefit of being physical and not reliant on faith. It's very strange, but honestly, dollars are not backed by specie. Is it specie? I think it's specie. By gold anymore. Dollars, pounds, major government currencies these days, they are fiat money. The government says this is the money you all use, and they're worth what people perceive them to be worth. It's very odd. It's kind of mind-blowing when you realize this, that dollars are not backed up by gold these days. You can't exchange your dollars for gold, and the value of dollars is just basically because Americans in the world all agree that dollars have a certain value, and it fluctuates based on perception of that value. It's crazy, I know, but it is true. And so Bitcoin is not necessarily different from dollars in that sense, but I think people have a lot more stability in their perceived value of the dollar than they do in their perceived value of Bitcoin. It's called, let me just show you this real quick. Fiat currency, fiat money. Fiat money, like dollars, is currency that a government has declared to be legal tender, legal to pay your debts, legal to pay taxes and your bills with, but it is not backed by a physical commodity. And that's what, as far as I'm aware, all of the big currencies in the world are right now. They're fiat money. They're not backed by physical commodity. Pretty fascinating. It's really interesting. Kind of mind-blowing, again, when you think about that. Let's see here. Kareem says YouTube will never fix the notifications problems. West Virginia said, I hope you are not covering Bitcoin because of sour grapes. I just told you I don't own any Bitcoin. I never have. My Bitcoin was $20. I wish I would have bought more. Well, what can you say, West Virginia bot? Now in hindsight, you wish you would have bought more. D. John Hughes says, I only get notified of your broadcast because I follow you in RSBN on Twitter and have those notifications turned on. Again, if you're not getting YouTube notifications, and recheck your all the kind of complex notification settings they have. Within the notification settings, even if you have the bell turned on, there's different options you can choose. But also, I would highly encourage you to contact YouTube and tell them you're not getting your notifications, because of course we want to have you get them. John Magoo says I should use a different... Oh, I didn't have the price up. I'm sorry. Why are you looking at me instead of the price? John Magoo wanted me to use a different price site. I like using World Coin Index. All right, John. John recommends this one. John, I hope this is not your personal website. Bitcoin ticker. Or it's not like porn or something. So that's Bitcoin ticker. All right, that looks cool too. I like that one. I like them both. It's a lot of action going on. I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's a little complex. How do I change what? I hate it already, John. How do I change what the chart is? I don't know. This is like the last hour. How do I get the last day or the last year? Oh, it's up here on the right. Okay. Fine. 12 hours. 3 hours. There's the last 3 hours. I don't know. You know, there's some things I like about this one, John, but some, you know, this kind of looks a little simpler to me. I know what you're saying. I sort of would like something like this combined. I like sort of combine these two. Oh, one thing I don't like about this one is the problem with this one is that I can't see I can't see the number, and I don't want to move myself. See, wah, wah. Can't see the price. We're going to stick with that one for now. Hey, I'm going to show you all the crypto prices. So there you go. Ethereum just getting hammered, the second biggest cryptocurrency. Look at Ethereum. Look at how much it's gone down. Look at Ethereum in the last month. It was at 1396 3 weeks ago. Now it's at 623. So Ethereum, the second biggest cryptocurrency in the world with a market cap of $60 billion, has lost over half its value in 3 weeks. So over $60 billion in wealth has been lost there, which is roughly equivalent to how much wealth was lost in the Bernie Madoff scandal. 60-something billion dollars. But enough of Ethereum. Let's go back to Bitcoin. Hey, Bitcoin, it was up around 6,600. Now it's at 6,462. We'll keep an eye on it. Scott, I was literally, Scott Pollier, if you could see it, Scott, now, you would see my cursor was on my DMs, ready to press it, and you said check your DMs. So there you go. Didn't even have to move the cursor, just press the button. It's funny, Scott, you said check your DMs, and now I'm looking at my DMs and you didn't send me a message. At 4 Donald Trump 45 Trump 5 writes, not trying to brag or anything, but I haven't lost any money on Bitcoin or the Dow this month. The perks of being broke. You can't lose what you don't have. Started with 0 and ended with 0. Well, congratulations on not losing money. That's a good thing. JC says, Steve, I will wait for the conference on cryptocurrency coming up soon. What are you talking about, JC? I don't know about what conference you're talking about. I'm going to check out the chat room in a second. So it's JC just made a donation. Wow, JC, you made it's a very generous $50 donation. JC is moderating and he just made a donation. Amazing. JC says, Thank you, JC. I invest in Blood, Sweat, and Tears, Godspeed, Right Side Broadcasting Network. I look forward to Maggie tomorrow. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'll talk about that in a second. As far as crypto, it's on rocky terms, but I wouldn't freak out. I don't own any crypto, but it sure is getting interesting. Thank you, JC, and thank you for all of your hard work in the chat room moderating. Big shout out to JC. Very nice of you. We are viewer supported. Your donations keep us on the air, so if you want to donate, maybe you, what do they call that? When you bet on a stock to go down, it gets late and I can't think anymore. Why can't I think of this? Why can't I think of it? I literally can't think of it. Somebody in the chat room is going to tell me. You bet on a stock to go down. Ugh. Short, when you short a stock. So maybe some of you shorted Bitcoin. And if you have extra money lying around, you'd like to help us stay on the air, feel free to donate by going to the bottom of the YouTube chat and clicking on the dollar sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat. Or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. And send me your comments on this whole Bitcoin cryptocurrency story at Lookner on Twitter, So what else was I going to do? Bitcoin is now below 6,400. Don't take your eye off it. What I was going to say is, usually when we come on the air about Bitcoin, there's all these big price moves, and we kind of, a lot of times we're kind of glued to the price, but it's been pretty stable during this broadcast, although now it's gone down about 200 since 15 minutes ago. What was I going to do? I was going to do something. I can't remember. Oh, I was going to talk about Maggie's thing coming up. Okay. Davis Deaton, is this you? Davis Deaton writes, on the ticker you have going next to the last price, what percent is it showing? I believe it's the last 24 hours. I think. It's a good question what this percent is. I think it's from 24 hours ago. That's my best guess. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But 24 hours ago, like if we do one day, so right now it's at 6,345. Well, is this 24 hours? Maybe it's calendar day. Is it calendar day? Because 24 hours ago it was above 8,000. Which is pretty crazy. I mean, look at this. 24 hours ago it was at 8,300 and now it's at 6,300. So it's lost, about 30 something percent of its value in a day. But if you go back to the start of the day, whenever, maybe GM, I don't know how they're measuring start of the day, Eastern time? Yeah, it's down about 8% from where it was when February 6th began. But I don't know, this February 6th might not be Eastern time. It might be like London time or something. So I think it's the start of the day, that percentage up there, that start of the day, but I'm not sure when the start of the day is being measured by. That'd be my best guess. So thank you for asking. It's a good question, Davis. Hey, Linda made a donation. Oh my gosh, Linda gave $50 and said, I will match JC. Thanks, RSBN, Stephen Mods, love you all. Thank you, Linda. That's so nice of you. Wow, I did not expect to get donations like that on a broadcast about how Bitcoin and cryptocurrency is going down. Unless you people are all shorting Bitcoin. But thank you very much. That helps keep us on the air. We really appreciate it. Hey, let me talk about the thing Maggie's doing that you guys can watch if you want. So Maggie is going to this, hang on, I'm at the right side page, RSBN at Social Media Neutrality Panel on DC. She will be live there. Oh, that's today. Okay, at 1 p.m. And you can see Margaret Howell is going to be on this panel at the museum in Washington, D.C. To talk about, basically what they're going to talk about, part of what they're talking about is how conservative media outlets get censored. And about how, I know that's going to be a main topic there is how like media companies and how platforms like, Facebook and YouTube and stuff, how difficult it is for conservative outlets on those kind of platforms. Jim Hoft of Gateway Pundit will be there, Margaret Howell, Pamela Geller of the Geller Report, and special video remarks by Michelle Malkin and James O'Keefe. So if you want to watch that, Right Side's own Maggie Howell will be there tomorrow. That is at, when is that at? 1 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. You can find that on our YouTube site. So just want to let you know that's going on. A bunch of you have been saying, where's Maggie? Well, you can see her tomorrow at that thing. Okay, so I'm looking at Bitcoin right now. So remember, we came on the air and it was like around like 6,200, and then it went up to 6,600. Now it's back down again. It's very volatile. I mean, you have these 5% swings in Bitcoin are like nothing. I wonder if I'm guessing there must be people who just sit at their computer and just try to like trade every few minutes and try to ride the ups and downs. Although I'm guessing that's pretty hard to do. Let's look at the Dow futures. Weston Jones reminded me we hadn't looked at that in a while. Let's check out the Dow futures, shall we? As Bitcoin continues to go down. The Dow futures are at fair value. All right, the Dow futures have gone up a bit. Fair value is 803. So when we came on the air a little while ago, the futures were down like 1,000. Earlier in the evening, they were down 1,200. Now they're down 803. So they're going up. That would imply that the market would be down around 800 points at opening, but there's a long way to go until the market opens. There is Bitcoin. Oh, Jimmy Wilkes Realtor. Yeah, you saw. Some people have been asking about what site this is. I use World Coin Index. I like World Coin Index because you can leave it on and it automatically updates. If you've been watching, you see it just updates, which I like. And also, they have a very nice page where they list all of the cryptocurrencies. And they tell you what the market cap is, and you can get price charts. And this page updates in real time too, which I think is great. So it's a nice clean interface. It's very easy to change the graphs, and it's easy to look at. So I've chosen this one to look at here for our broadcast. Hey, don't look now, but Bitcoin is now flirting with 6,300 again. Oh, I was going to look at the chat room. Oh, I also want to look at the Facebook chat room too. Let me do this. I need to look at it on my phone because my computers are being taken up by the rest of the broadcast. So let me just check this out. Then I will look at the YouTube chat room. All right, I have the Facebook broadcast off. I don't even know if anybody's... Wow, some people are watching the Facebook broadcast. Hello, people on Facebook. Then I will look at the YouTube. Whoa, I didn't want my volume up. So we got people, Don Campbell, James Evan Bayless. Don Campbell is saying short it. Don Campbell says, if Steve knew it was above 1,400 last month, then 10,000 now below 7,000. I did know that, Don. I've talked about that on the air. Bradley Keith Hyman says, hey. Hey, Bradley. James Evan Bayless on Facebook says, wait until it bottoms out and buy. Chris Miranda gives a thumbs up. All right, well, that was the Facebook chat for now. And in the YouTube chat, we got a lot of people chatting about this. Dragon32Z says, Bitcoin is whiz-bang technology, all you need to know. I love everybody staying awake for the late night stream. Although for people in LA, it's like only 10 p.m. Fuchs says, do not buy Bitcoin. It's not for you folks. SB says, hey, no coiners, I'll have fun laughing at you during the summer when Bitcoin runs to 30,000. Don't say I didn't warn you. Well, I can see, as usual, when we do a Bitcoin stream, there's spirited discussion going on over Bitcoin's merits in the chat room on YouTube. It looks like Singapore is not going to ban cryptocurrency trading. Hey, look, I just saw a tweet about this. Let me show you real quick. Let's see this tweet on Singapore. Oops. Singapore, this just came out. Well, 5 hours ago. Singapore says no strong case to ban cryptocurrency trading. Singapore's central bank says there's no strong case yet to ban cryptocurrency trading. They say cryptocurrencies are an experiment. The number in different forms of cryptocurrencies is growing internationally. It is too early to say if they will succeed. So it looks like they are not going to ban cryptocurrency trading, at least for the time being, in Singapore. Now, India, there was stuff that came out about them today. I know there was. Oh, no, because my search got all messed up. Oops. Here we go. So we were talking about this on the earlier broadcast. India rocks cryptocurrency by outlawing digital currencies from system. India is planning to make cryptocurrencies illegal to prevent the cryptocurrency from ever entering the country's mainstream financial system, a finance ministry official has said. So you can see how that would negatively affect the value of Bitcoin, because people in India won't want it because they won't be able to use it. I guess they maybe still could use it for some things, but they couldn't use it for anything in India. All right, we'll stay on the air a little while longer here. I know what's going to happen is once I get off the air, there'll be some big Bitcoin price move, but I can always come back on the air as things may be. But just, you know, it's interesting because you watch it and you're like, okay, I guess it's settled around 6,300. It's kind of crazy because, look, we're looking at the one-day chart. 1 day ago, 24 hours ago, it was around 8,300. So to think in 1 day we've established this new range, kind of settled range, which is $2,000 lower than the 8,300 it was. And as I said before, look at the last month. This is your last month. That is a trend. And if you look at the last 3 months, the trend is even longer. That's your last 3 months coming up. Hey, let's show 6 months. There's your 6-month trend. Davis Deaton said, I did some digging at the Coin Index forum about what percent means on the screen there. And it says that the fixed opening price is at 000 GMT. Okay, we were speculating about that before. I believe that would mean the percent drop resets every day at 7 p.m. EST on Coin Index. Yeah, because GMT, when is GMT? So the current Greenwich Mean Time is... You know what's dumb? When you Google GMT on Google, it should just give you the Greenwich Mean Time. When I put in GMT, just give me Greenwich Mean Time as one of the choices. I'm Googling GMT. You can't see it on your screen right now. GMT. I just Googled it. It doesn't come up. Google should automatically have it come up, and then I got to click another link. Oh, and then if you click on the first link they give you, it doesn't even give you the time. Oh, it does. All right, 6:17. So Greenwich Mean Time, yeah. So All right, we figured it out. So we were thinking that maybe percent means the percent on this page. Percent means the percent it's gone up or down since the start of the day, Greenwich Mean Time, which is 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Let me get to some more comments here. West Virginia bot, what would you have us invest in? West Virginia bot, do you really think I'm going to give out investment advice? Do you really think, I don't even know if it's illegal for me to be doing that, but also, do you really think I want that burden of telling you guys what to invest in and then being responsible for it? I'm not telling you anything. Also, I'm not an expert in it, so I'm not telling you. Babak, you just sent me a message about a car chase. I'm not allowed to use those videos. Those belong to news organizations, so I can't just show them on the air. Scott Polier says the Bitcoin Lightning Network enables fees to be extremely low and instant transactions. Once Lightning Network is more widely adopted, it'll lower all transaction fees overall. I mine Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. I've been able to pay my schooling up front because of it. So Scott Polier is bullish on Bitcoin. Thank you, Scott, for writing in. Dave Reinecke writes in, Bitcoin has always had a 50 to 70% drop over the years, but has always corrected itself. The US dollar has nothing to back it up. Bitcoin was backed by work from PCs and transactions. Well, by that argument, isn't the US dollar backed by work from printing presses? But anyways, Dave Reinecke says, which is more than you can say about the dollar. It's backed by nothing, just my opinion. Well, I think personally, I feel like they're both, well, this gets very complex what you mean backed by, but there's the U.S., as we said before, the dollar isn't tradable for gold or anything. It's just, it's backed by the government saying it's valuable and your trust of the government to not, for example, produce too much of it and just start printing it constantly. But ultimately the value is based on what people perceive that value to be. So I think it's kind of similar in that way to Bitcoin. Look, if everybody woke up tomorrow in America and said, you know what? I think those little pieces of paper with numbers on them that say dollar on them, I don't think they're valuable at all. Then they wouldn't be valuable. No one would accept them for payment. And then and people could say, I want to accept Bitcoin now because I think those are valuable. So at a certain point, value of currencies these days really is just what people perceive it to be. But I will say, some people have made this argument, well, Bitcoin does this every year. I'm a little skeptical of that argument because I feel like Bitcoin's only been around for a few years. And before this year, it was nothing like it is this year. There was way few people in it. The price was way lower. So I think it's entirely possible that the market conditions are now so different from Bitcoin that it's not really that useful to look at what happened in the last 3 years around this time, because it's a totally different market, I think. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think that's the case. But Dave, feel free to disagree with me, and I totally appreciate, as always, you writing in and sharing your view. You might think I'm wrong, Dave. That's fine. Hey, look, while I was babbling, Bitcoin is now down below 6,300 again. It was 6,600 earlier in the stream. See what happens? Now it's down to 6,285. JC says no value. No, JC says dollar equals promise note equals I owe you, no value. Well, it has value, JC, because people will give you things for it. So it has some value. Maybe you think it's overvalued, JC. Money, as I said before, is kind of a crazy thing when you think about it. Now, at a certain point, if you want to get really philosophical about it, you could be like, well, gold has real value, but it doesn't. Gold, people value gold. They don't have to value gold. People look I could see a world like our world where people look at gold and they treat it like pebbles. Why do we value gold? Why do we think it's worth something? Why will we exchange things for gold? Because it has a cool color? I mean, it's naturally scarce. I'll say that. But my point is just that at a certain point, different currencies and precious metals are valuable because humans consider them valuable. And so we could all wake up tomorrow and people could think of like diamonds and think they could look at diamonds like pebbles and think, oh, why would I ever, accept this as payment, this thing? So it's very interesting money. Very interesting. We're getting so philosophical about money on this broadcast. But anyways, let's get back and talk about Bitcoin. You know why? Because look, it's down to 6,200. Look what happened, guys. I thought we might end the stream without a big price move, but look what's happening here. It's now down. It's lower. It keeps doing this. The general trend over the last day is big drop, and then you get this movement up, but it doesn't fully recover, and then it goes down again. It's about to drop below 6,200. Let's look. There you go, guys. It is below 6,200. Below 6,200. 6,183. Is it going to keep going down? This is the general pattern of today is goes down a bunch, recovers some, goes down and sets a new low. So it went down to around 6,000 before, went back up while we were on the year, went back up to 6,600. Now it's all the way back down to the 6,100s. We'll keep an eye on it and see what happens. If it goes below 6,000, I will be pretty stunned. But we're going to watch it. Kirk Wasson says, if I had any extra cash, it would be going into Bitcoin right now. This is about the price Bitcoin would be if it hadn't had that steep exponential decline. So Kirk is bullish on Bitcoin. Let me check the chat room again. Sheared Wheel Bearing says it's dropping like a brick. Craig Gordon says, go, 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 as it goes down before 6,200. Deborah Haley says it already hit 5,900. It depends on what index you're looking at, Deborah. According to World Coin Index, the lowest it got was 6017. Hey, John Jensen 4 says, gave a donation and said, Rambling Steve. Hey, if my rambling gets donations, I'll keep rambling. Thank you, John Jensen 4. That's what keeps us on the air, your donations, so we really appreciate it. Guys, 6178, guys. I'm just saying, it was 6,600 about a half hour ago. Now it's 6178, 6176. Look what's happening. As we speak. Ultra Natio says, sell, sell, sell in the chat room. Chewy Dog says, there is support at mid 5,000. If it doesn't hold, it will free fall. Zolani ZB says, I think it will balance itself at 4,000. Let me see if the Facebook chat is saying anything different than you guys. Hang on. I need to, oh, there we go. There we go. Joshua Haywood says about Bitcoin, this is the deep state at its finest. They can move money and it's not tracked at all. He's in the Facebook chat. Nico Filipponi says 5,900 dilly dilly. Dan Lell writes in, hello, talking about gold, take a look at this news, a bacteria that produces gold from other toxic metals. Let me peek at this. I don't know about Science Alert. Science Alert has an article that talks about bacteria that poop out tiny gold nuggets. Now, I also don't know, I'll have to check this out later, but if somehow gold, look, that's what alchemists tried to do back in the day. in the Middle Ages, they tried to produce gold. Gold is very naturally scarce, you know. I don't know if you're aware of this. There's very little gold in the world, and very little of it gets mined every year. It's a very, very small amount, so it's kind of naturally scarce. So it would kind of mess with gold's value if bacteria could start producing gold in big amounts. While I was talking, look, 6162. It goes down further. 6161. Going down further. I want to show you this though. Real quick, let me show. There's a cool page that tells you about how little gold there actually is produced. How much gold is produced every year? I want to say like the amount of gold produced every year in the world like fills up a couple of swimming pools or something like that. Really? No, that's not it. Each year, approximately 2,500 tons of gold are mined throughout the world. The question is, how much does that take up? I can't easily find it, so there's a page that has like a nice visual of what the amount. Oh, there it is. Look at this. There it is. How much gold has ever been mined? Look at this. How much gold has been mined? The total gold ever that's been mined. If every single ounce of gold that's ever been mined were placed next to each other, the resulting cube of pure gold would only measure around 21 meters on each side. That is insane. Which is what, about 70 feet? So all the gold that's ever been mined throughout history, okay, if you put it all together, it would fit in a box that's 69 feet by 69 feet by 69 feet. Crazy, but that's the World Gold Council. That's who's telling you that. So gold is very scarce. All right, that had nothing, well, that didn't really have much to do with Bitcoin, but I thought that was a fun fact to share. Tom Tall just said the same thing. All the gold in the world would fit in a cube, 20-meter cube. 21 meter. Somebody said Google Home is faster than Steve. Did they look it up on Google Home? Hey, anyway, I meant to show you what the price of Bitcoin is right now. It's at 6160. I don't know, guys. 6160, getting lower. Mr. Nicktown says that cannot be right. But it's crazy. It is right, Mr. Nicktown. Satya Vaswani says in the chat room, I was regretting missing the Bitcoin train. Now, not so much. $61.36. I don't know, guys. I didn't think we were going to get this low on this $61.33. We might be, during this broadcast, hitting a new low. $61.22. The pattern continues. This has been going on all day and all night. It goes down a lot. Then it recovers some, but that recovery is gone. When we came on the air, it very quickly had gone up from around 6,000 to 6,600. Now it is back down to 61.28. Oh, will we see it go below 6,000? That's a big question I have. Rowdy Deplorable writes, silver is the currency I wish I had more of physically. It has an actual big-time usage purpose. I don't know what you're referring to, Rowdy Deplorable. The dual-purpose precious metal. You sent me an article about silver. Industries use it, is what you're saying. Mr. Nicktown made a donation and said, agree to disagree, Steve. Haha. Thank you, Mr. Nicktown. If your donation was gold, we could put it in the 21 by 21 by 21 meter box that holds all the gold, Mr. Nicktown. Thank you for the donation. That's very nice of you. Kirk Wasson says I misread him, and he said, I said this is the price it would be if it hadn't had that steep exponential incline. I see what you're saying, Kirk. Kirk Wasson says, also, it's important we keep the Bitcoin price up because the shark investors will come in to buy it if it gets too low. Then the banks will be in charge of the price. Brian Lyon writes in, gold has many uses besides money. Yes, I was not denying that. For example, it's perfect for filling teeth because it won't oxidize. Also, a man can give a woman gold jewelry to collateralize her risk of settling down with him. It's been this way for 6,000 years. Bitcoin has no such intrinsic value. Well, I don't know about the man giving the woman gold jewelry. That's not really intrinsic value because, like, the women could just decide tomorrow they don't really like gold anymore. But anyways, you say gold. The general point you're making, Brian, is you think gold is more useful than Bitcoin. Hey, but maybe some people think Bitcoin is useful. This is a very complex when you get into all these questions of what value is and what intrinsic value is and all that kind of thing. I would love to take a course just on like the theory of how money works. Just that. Not the economics, the theory of like, it's like a philosophy course. JC says, so what's in Fort Knox? JC, there's gold in Fort Knox. The idea was if you gathered up all the gold in the world, including that of Fort Knox, and you put it together, it would fit in a 69 by 69 by 69 foot cube, which is crazy. Dave Renke says the word for Bitcoin you should use is an algorithm. Bitcoin is an algorithm, just like Amazing, and they were saying don't invest in that company either. Now look at it. I don't know what Amazing is, Dave Renke. But I agree. I've heard Bitcoin called an algorithm before. That's a good way to think about it. Sightless Seer, I just got your message. I'm not going to read it out loud, though. Thank you for writing in. I'll read the whole thing when I'm off the air, Sightless Seer. We're at 6172. Kate Critters says no gold in Fort Knox. I haven't thought about this in so long. I don't even know. Is there gold in Fort Knox? Isn't there? I don't know. I know nothing about Fort Knox. CBS says it's glittering gold bricks totaling 147.3 million ounces. Oh, it's hard to know. Here, so let me just show you this article here because people in the chat room are arguing about the gold in Fort Knox. CBS News, is there gold in Fort Knox? And they talk about the gold in Fort Knox, and then they say the gold is stacked inside, the gold bars are stacked inside there, or are they? It's hard to know for sure. Few people have been inside Fort Knox. That's why Ron Paul, and this was years ago, Ron Paul said, my attitude is let's just find out what's there. Despite conspiracy theories to the contrary, no serious Fed watcher thinks Fort Knox is wholly goldless, not even Ron Paul. Anyways, you can read that article on CBS if you want. All right, we're going to be on the air a little while longer with this stream. I thought we might see a kind of another sudden move down, but it seems to have stalled around 6,200. But I'm going to be keeping an eye on it tonight and seeing what happens with Bitcoin while I'm up. Hey, Gilbert Serrano made a donation. Thank you, Gilbert. Very nice of you. Gilbert says, North Korea may be behind Japanese cryptocurrency heists. South Korea spy agency reportedly warns. Yeah, well, I was reading an interesting article about North Korea's economy, and it said that, one of the big ways they do make money, because there's all these sanctions now, but one of the big ways they do make money is illegal, criminal activities. So, including illegal cyber activities. So, I would not be surprised at all if there's speculation that they were behind the cryptocurrency heist. Let me just do a quick check here if I Google North Korea crypto exchange hack. Is this Quartz? Quartz says North Korea is a suspect in the world's biggest cryptocurrency heist, which was $530 million worth of digital tokens. But supposedly their economy really relies on, one of the things it really relies on is cybercrime. So, interesting. Thanks for the donation, Gilbert. Hey, let's get back to Bitcoin price. Rocky Sanchez writes in, I love gold, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. All right. Well, I think we're getting to that point where the price is kind of, here's where it is for right now. Who knows? Well, watch, when I get off the air, as soon as I get off, it's going to be crazy price movements. But I got to get off the air and eventually sleep and also eat something. I delayed all of this to come on the air. Forex Day Trading Radio sent me lyrics of some song involving gold in California. I don't know what song that is, Forex Day Trading Radio. Oh, okay. You said, you're saying no one thought, Dave Ronicky says no one thought Amazon would amount to anything. Now look at it. Well, we'll see what happens to Bitcoin, Dave. Right now, I can tell you it's at 6182. So as we get closer to the end of the stream, let me remind you, please subscribe to us on YouTube if you want to know about these breaking news videos. We do them all the time. Click the notifications bell. And then make sure you're getting the notifications. If not, yell at YouTube and say, give me my notifications. You can write to them on Twitter. It's easy, at YouTube or at Team YouTube. On Facebook, follow us at Right Side Broadcasting, and on Twitter at RSB Network. Also, if you want Bitcoin news while we're not on the air and other breaking news, I post about Bitcoin and lots of other breaking news stuff all the time on my Twitter, and that is at Lookner on Twitter, at LOOKNER. You can follow me there. And what else was I going to say? Appreciate people who donated tonight. Thank you so much for the donations. Even in a stream where we were talking about prices going down, some people donated. That keeps us on the air. If you like our coverage, I don't think any of the mainstream media is doing big Bitcoin coverage, big crypto coverage at all. So if you like that we're doing this, if you like having an alternative to the mainstream media, please consider donating, because we are viewer supported. You can donate by going to the bottom of the YouTube chat and clicking on the dollar sign at the bottom of the YouTube chat, or go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. Hey, look, it's down to 61.64 while I'm talking. Hey, JC did a great job moderating the stream, too. Thank you, JC, staying up late with us. And Common Sense and Gleno on the website. I'm going to keep an eye on this. Look, it's 61.57. $61.51. Are we going to get further? Are we going to approach 6,000? Well, it's still dropping. I didn't even check my email. Let's see. I got... Scott Paul, that's how I missed Scott Polly. He initially emailed me and I missed that. All right, somebody else said faster, more accurate Bitcoin site. All right, I'll check it out. I hope this isn't a virus. But hold on, we're going to check. One of our viewers, Larry Palick, said I should try this crypto site to see the cryptocompare.com. Oh, that's interesting. It's kind of a similar to hang on. See, you got that one, World Coin Index, and then you got Crypto Compare. There's something to be said for Crypto Compare. Let's leave it on Crypto Compare for a second. I don't know if I'll definitely switch, but I don't mind having something a little different. The changes happen faster on Crypto Compare, but it is pretty well matched up, I think, with World Coin Index, because World Coin Index is saying 6135 right now. 6127. What do you guys think? Which one do you like better? I bet you're going to say this one because there's more things flashing and more things changing. But what if I want just Bitcoin? What will it show me on that screen? It does look kind of nice. Larry, I'll give it to you. The interface is kind of nice on this one too. It's sort of a very similar to World Coin Index. I like how the number is very big on this one. Crom one says buy Ripple. Ripple's had it really tough. Gyro says he likes not this one, the other one. Deborah Haley, I think you like this one because it updates faster, more frequently than the World Coin Index one. Tom Tall likes this one better. Matt Corley likes this one better. Maybe I'll use Crypto Compare for a little while. Fine. I can be flexible. Sorry. Larry Palick, maybe you work for Crypto Compare. I don't care, Larry, though. It was a good suggestion. Let me see what the Facebook chat has to say. The Facebook chat, I look and I keep seeing the same comments in the Facebook chat when I look at it. It's very odd. Let's try this. Unless no one's making new comments. All right, I think I'm going to wrap up the stream because we're kind of in this area where it's not really doing much right now, but I'll keep an eye on it. If there's huge news, I'll come back on the air. But I appreciate you guys all joining us tonight as we watch what was going on with Bitcoin and talking about it. John Magoo writes in, by the way, a 69 cubic foot cube of gold would weigh almost 200 tons, approximately as much as 2 aircraft carriers. Gold is very dense. We got to try one more. Christopher Deaton sent me a site that he wants me to try. Hang on, guys. I don't think it's going to beat the 2 we have, but I'll try it anyway. Just for you, Christopher Deaton. We'll try your site. This is a little too complex for my simple mind, Christopher. My head's exploding. See, that's Bitcoin. Oh my God. Maybe it gives you like every trade. I don't know. I'm going to get a headache if we look at that one. But thanks for the suggestion. Oh, all right. We'll give it one last chance. We'll see where it goes. It's at 61.58 before we get off the air. Hey, but thanks for joining us, everybody, for this broadcast. And thank you, people, for saying thank you in the chat room. Nigel Verdell, hello. Rocky Sanchez, Billy Harris, JDGDKS1, Son of Earth and Sky, Deborah Haley, Equalizer, Sheared Wheel, YouTube 13. I like Shanair Mehmet's comment. Shanair Mehmet said, "This is extremely boring." No one's making you watch, Shanair. You don't have to watch. YouTube doesn't make you watch it. 21 Backdoor 21 likes this site better. Matt Corley likes this website better. Lulo De Palma says she likes how the number is very big of the price on this site. Noble SHT says, yes, I like this one better. You see long, get the graphs some. Maybe a typo there. Matt Corley likes this better. Loving Life says, buy tulips. They will be worth more very soon. Thank you, Chewy Dog. Oh, I have to sign into this one? I have to give Crypto Compare my information? I don't know about this. I don't like it. I don't like it. Now what, does it stop working now if I don't sign in? No, it's still working. All right, we might have seen the fatal flaw in Crypto Compare is that it keeps bothering you to sign in. Thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Brian. No, I got to eat and sleep. That's what I got to do. Thank you, YouTube 13. Thanks again, JC. Big cheer to JC for moderating. Way to go, JC. And for donating. Thorthaz, thank you. Janine, thank you. Siren Muscle says, I must watch RSBN. Thank you, Butt Monkey. Butt Monkey, you might have not even said thanks, but thanks anyway. Thank you, Gohar. Thank you in the YouTube chat, in the Facebook chat. Hang on, Facebook chat. I see Michael Cedarquist, thank you. It's so bad when I use the Facebook app to look at the chat room. It doesn't let me scroll through all the comments. I don't understand it. Just let me scroll through all of the comments, not through 2 of them. It lets me see 5 comments. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. It's insanely stupid. Why would it just not let me scroll through the comments? It is really dumb. Tony Stone says chat is dead on Facebook. Why can't I just scroll through the comments? Real quick, let me just check. Oh, I should have brought my tablet in here. Then I could do it that way. Anyways, let me just check real quick the Facebook stream so they don't all yell at me. And say, why didn't you read our goodbyes? Can I see all the comments this way? Let's see. I can finally see the comments. There we go. Michael Cedarquist, good night. All right. Now I see it. Thank you for everybody watching in the Facebook chat. Thank you for everybody watching on YouTube. And as we leave you, we will leave you with this. The price is currently $61.39 and $61.40. Who knows what will happen? All right. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching this stream. Good luck in all your investments, whatever they are. And we will see you soon here at Right Side Broadcasting. Have a great night.